I want to move to our rapid fire. I have just a few I want to ask you that are also a little bit controversial, and then some about you. Curious, what is one wellness trend that you feel like needs to be called out? Just kind of on the note that we're going on with this tough love being therapy. What is one thing that you're like, this is just not the thing? Why are people suggesting it?
Oh, I love that. I'm also relieved that I don't have an instant answer. I'm really glad that I can't think of anything off the top of my head. That's gonna go.
Yeah. That is.
I'm so relieved I don't know. Now, maybe this also means I don't follow enough trends. It could just be a sign that I live a little bit under a rock in this department.
Right. And that's good that if you don't have an answer, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Okay, here's something I'll put out there.
Okay.
Maybe it's sort of ancillary. I wish that folks were a little less rigid in their ideas about journaling.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I think it's occurred to me from things I've been told and seen and heard that there's sort of this mystique around journaling, that this is something that you should buy a really pretty leather-bound or unicorn encrusted or something fantastic that only comes from the bowels of Etsy and costs you $48 and then you have this beautiful pen and only that pen shall write in that notebook, right? And you pull it out and you use your best handwriting and you say really deep things and they're so meaningful that your own mind is blown by this deep reflection and introspection. And I just feel like that's so much pressure.
I agree.
I can't write under those conditions.
I see, right. If anyone actually looked at my journal, they'd be like, whoa, this is wild. Because I'm just like, but if that pressure of it has to be beautiful and perfect and complete
and for posterity.
And
insightful and incisive. And I tell people, I'm like, look, how about this? How about you start writing things down on the back of receipts, cocktail napkins, junk mail, and then you staple all those pieces together in the corner.
Love it.
And once you collect 10, you throw them out. That's my journal.
I love
10 pieces of garbage that you have written the ravings of a mad woman on, right? And it is in bullet point shorthand that only you would understand, and sometimes you don't even understand it. Because I think the point of journaling is to do the exercise in the moment. What you're getting out of it is the process, not a product.
Agree.
And the more we focus on pretty, spiral bound, unicorn encrusted things, then it's become a product. There's an outcome. It has to be a thing. And if you start scrolling away on the back of a cocktail napkin, when was the last time you went out of your way to preserve a cocktail napkin? Never.
Exactly.
Right? Or the back of a receipt. So I'm a big believer in journaling as a much jankier process.
Me, same. I agree. I want my journal. I love when you said ravings of a bad woman. That's what I want my journal to be, the space to be, where I'm like, man, if anyone found this, they would be like, I can just be so radically honest and 100%. Not feel like this is a Pinterest board,
100%. Yes. Or how about, you can get those, they say they're for kids, but they make those crayons that you can write on the shower with.
Yes.
What if you just kept a stack of those, with your shampoo, and you could just make a bullet list in the shower, because that's where everybody thinks the things, right? In the shower.
I love that
and you just scribbled out in this kid's crayon.
Yes.
Yeah, that's journaling, people.
Yeah,
that's journaling.
I love that. That's a really good one. And I feel like journaling has become such an industry where it's, everyone's journal needs to be this Pinterest highlight reel or profound 100%. Quotes. And I think that actually prevents people from doing the work and saying the things. If you can't be honest with yourself in your journal, then what is going on here?
Right. It is that mentality gets you focused on this product outcome, which is the antithesis of what journaling is, which is supposed to be in the moment, vomit, word vomit, thought vomit, feeling vomit.
Right.
And that's the point of it. After you've done that, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Now, some people think it, find it helpful to go back and whatever, and fine, power to you. But the pressure, I laughed, bullet journals.
Yes, I know. Yep. Oh,
yeah, I mean, bullet journals I thought were really interesting because that was sort of like the engineer's version of like the unicorn encrusted journal. Because it feels so pretty and neat and organized. And they say you don't have to like do it but you feel obligated to. Because look at all those pretty lines, you know, and it's also very neat and organized. I mean, I don't see anybody drawing squiggly dragons in their bullet journal.
No. There's
It's just a different iteration of the same problem in my mind.
Pinterest and Reddit communities showing people showing how beautiful their bullet is, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would be shamed out of that community because my stuff is like bootleg. So bootleg.
Or who's to say that for me, and I mean this seriously, this is true. For me, a journal entry is something that I think of, and then I'm like, how am I going to remember this? How am I going to remember this? And I will email myself, and it's 2 run-on sentences of just the one thing, and I email it to myself because then somewhere it's in my email, which is a paper trail. Yay me! I can find it later, but I don't really want to find it. I just want to have gotten it out, and I didn't have a piece of paper at the time, and I didn't have a pen, right? So that is the fastest way for me to sort of like paper airplane that business out into the universe. And that's what I need to do is paper airplane it. I don't need to get the paper airplane on the other end.
Agree. Totally agree. I love that you brought up journaling. That's a really good one. I want to ask one more thing. Biggest misconception about trauma. What is that in your mind?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what the biggest misconception about trauma is. I think one of them is this idea that if the person had done something differently or was handling it differently, then they wouldn't be traumatized. There's this sort of like individual level accountability on this person who's been traumatized that they had more control than they did over this experience, which of course is partly the root of trauma, is that it was out of this person's control in so many ways, or they had no choice, or they felt helpless, or they were helpless. But I don't know how. I guess there are 2 kinds of misconceptions: popular misconception, or like within the field, or for people who have trauma. And I don't specialize in trauma, so there are other people who would probably have some more timely, nuanced things to say about that.
Amazing.